Now on Coast TV News.
Decision day done in Rehoboth Beach. We'll break down the race for city commissioner seats as election results are just hours away. Rip current risk, what you need to know if you're enjoying the beach this weekend. Recreational rules 1 week into the Delaware marijuana market. We'll show you which towns are and are not on board.
And it's been an absolutely gorgeous start to our weekend. Below average temperatures continue. We have a really cool night ahead of us before the 90-degree temperatures lurk next week. We'll talk about it coming up.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
3 city commissioner candidates fighting for 2 seats. Good evening, I'm Emma Aiken. Welcome to Coast TV News at 6. We begin tonight with the Rehoboth Beach election. Election day did just wrap up after voting took place from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Rehoboth Beach Convention Center. The race includes 3 candidates running for 2 open city commissioner seats. Jeffrey Good is a retired federal employee and the husband of current city commissioner Suzanne Good. Susan Stewart, a lawyer, is already on the Rehoboth Beach Planning Commission and the Mixed Use and Stormwater Utility Task Forces. She's also a financial advisor with a major wealth management firm. Chris Galanti has no relation to the city and is a senior program and account manager overseeing complex government contracts. Each candidate laid out what they want voters to know.
My commitment to voters is I will be respectful, I will do my homework, so I'll make informed votes, and I'll work hard to understand what people want and have it reflected in our agenda.
I'm the only one running who will focus on fiscal sanity of the city. I believe we're really headed into the wrong direction.
I bring a data-based approach to decision making. I like to find commonality with my colleagues and work collaboratively on solution and problem solving, and that's the type of perspective that I'll bring.
We will know who won these 2 seats in just a few hours, so be sure to tune in to Coast TV News at 11 tonight and visit coasttv.com. Lots of people are at the beach this weekend, but lifeguards are on high alert because rip currents are the #1 weather-related danger at the beach. The National Weather Service uses a 3-level warning system. Low risk means danger rip currents are unlikely. Medium risk means rip currents are possible. But through today, we are at a high risk. And high risk along the Sussex County beaches means dangerous rip currents are likely in the surf zone. We are under this level of caution from the Lewis Beach down to Fenwick Island for Delaware, and that same concern travels down to Ocean City and as far south as Assateague Island for today. And we'll now take a live look into Milford, and our first alert meteorologist, Chris Mastrobono, joins us. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Emma. Yeah, you know, we had that high risk today. The good news is as we go into tomorrow, it gets dropped to a moderate risk, so that is certainly good news. Remember, rip currents do not discriminate. They affect all types of swimming levels. If you're an experienced swimmer, it's still going to affect you. Powerful rip currents, you want to swim parallel to the shore to escape the current. You don't want to fight the current. You want to just kind of tread and to try to escape or float on the water and call for help as quickly as possible to get those attentions of those lifeguards. We're seeing those clear skies out there in Milford. We're at 77 degrees, 73 in Lewis. We're at 78 Bridgeville to 77 in Gumboro. We're under the influence of high pressure. This high pretty much parks right over us tonight. We're going to see a clear, cool, beautiful evening. We're down to 71 by around 8, eventually falling into the mid-50s away from the coast. We have a couple cool, crisp nights ahead. We'll talk about a gorgeous end of the weekend and then a return of the heat and humidity by the middle part of next week. That's coming up in the full 7-day forecast here in a little bit. Emma.
Thank you, Chris. It's been 1 week since Delaware's adult use cannabis market opened, but not all dispensaries have been able to participate. Fresh Delaware, with 3 locations statewide, says its Seaford and Milford stores can't start recreational sales due to city bans. Fresh says they received a state recreational license for their Milford location back in October, months before the city passed its ban in January, but they remain blocked from selling. And because of this, Fresh is taking legal action against the city of Milford. Meanwhile, Frankfort is one of the only towns allowing recreational marijuana shops within its city limits. The Farm Dispensary opened last week in Frankfort, now offering both medical and recreational marijuana. The Frankfort town manager tells us he hopes stores like this are a beneficial boost to the local economy.
So my hope and my role as town manager is that this will snowball. This will be the tip of the spear, and we'll see a lot more retail growth in the months and years to come.
The Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission is seeking public comment on a new striped bass management plan aimed at rebuilding the population by 2029. While officials say the plan is necessary to protect the fishery, some watermen strongly disagree. Robert Newberry, a commercial waterman on the bay, says the real problems in the bay are being ignored.
The bay's polluted, the fish are getting sick. The crabs, I mean, everybody sees what the crab problem is. Crabs are dying because of the bad water. They won't address it. That's what I commented on at the ASMFC, and I had 15 commissioners come up and want more information. But Maryland does nothing.
Someone could be just hours away from winning nearly $500 million. The next Powerball drawing is tonight, and the estimated jackpot is at least $482 million. That is the second biggest lottery prize so far this year. If you happen to win and want the lump sum option, then you will be walking away with about $219 million. However, the odds of winning are 1 in 292 million. But may Lady Luck be on your side. Still to come on Coast TV News at 6, clean energy cut, the billion-dollar program being canceled.
Well, I'll tell you what, can't beat this type of weather we're seeing on Delmarva for this time of year. 73 by around sunset. We are falling into the mid to upper 50s on Delmarva tonight. We'll talk more about that and the rest of your weekend here in minutes.
But first, a look at the leaderboards during Day 6 of the White Marlin Open. We'll be back in just 60 seconds.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
There's an estimated $7.3 million in prize money this year at the White Marlin Open. We're going to take a look at the leaderboard, sponsored by Rudy Marine. Starting in the White Marlin category, Bill Fisher of Ocean City is on top with a 72-pound White Marlin. Looking at a Blue Marlin category, a massive 929.5-pounder is still on top. It was brought in by the boat Barbara B. And in the tuna category, Mama C brought in a 95-pounder. In second place, No Limit brought in a 92.5-pound fish. And in third, Don't Ask brought in a 61-pound tuna. And Barbara B is on the leaderboard again, but this time in the dolphin category with a 32.5-pound catch. Rochambeau in second with a 27-pound catch, and Sweet Freedom with a 26.5-pound catch. The tournament runs through tomorrow, and at this time there are no qualifying fish for the wahoo and swordfish categories.
White Marlin Open leaderboard coverage is sponsored by RudyMarine.com, where family boating begins.
Well, if you like today, you're going to love tomorrow. The below average temperatures continue, refreshing air remains in place, but we're going to see some changes by the middle part of next week as heat, humidity makes a comeback. We'll talk more about it in that full 7-day forecast after the break. Well, this weather has been certainly a treat for the dog days of summer, right? Below average temperatures continue as we begin the month of August. For the first 9 days of this month, we have been below average. Beautiful skies there in Cambridge. We're at 79 degrees. The dew point remains very comfortable in the upper 50s, and it's going to be a gorgeous evening under clear skies. We'll fall to 68 by around 10 o'clock. You can see temperatures at the coast, 74 Rehoboth, 74 Bethany to 77 Millsboro, and 77 in Georgetown. Winds have relaxed themselves today. We had some gusty conditions yesterday, but we continue to see that flow out of the northeast. Dew points right now still in check, upper 50s to lower 60s, and we're really not going to see a rise in humidity until the middle part of next week. We're under the influence of high pressure. There's that area of low pressure we were telling you about for most of the week. That is pushing well out to sea. High pressure is locking in and going to keep us nice and sunny and dry. As I mentioned, it has been a cool start to August. Pretty incredible. In fact, this is the departure from the norm, from the daytime high, and we are well below average through the first 9 days through Georgetown. And when you go to Salisbury, well, they're off to their coolest start ever through the first 9 days of August. Pretty incredible. We should be sweltering heat right now, right? 55 overnight to 66 at the coast. Some patchy fog is possible. A sensational Sunday. Temperatures anywhere from 77 to Lewis to 82 in Seaford, 83 Cambridge. Winds out of the east-northeast at about 5 to 10, 82 Cambridge. Now, moderate risk of rip currents tomorrow. Lewis down to South Bethany. So we're seeing the seas begin to calm a bit, but still want to keep guard. Swim near those lifeguards. That moderate risk down from Ocean City through Chicotee. Clear skies for our Sunday. Tomorrow night, we once again dip into the mid to upper 50s away from the coast, 60s at the coast. Monday, we're in the mid 80s, still rather seasonable and comfortable. Then as we go into Tuesday, we'll begin to see those humidity levels creep up ever so slowly. And then by Wednesday and Thursday, we're in that, yes, very humid to miserable range as that heat builds back into Delmarva. Through Chicotee, over the next 3 days, we're in the lower to mid 80s, Assateague mid 70s. As we make our way up to Ocean City, temperatures generally in the mid to upper 70s. The warmest day of the next 3 will be Tuesday in through Fenwick Island. Our warmer shore points, Lewis and Bethany, seeing those temperatures get into the mid 80s by Tuesday. So there's the setup Wednesday into Thursday. High pressure settling to our south. Southwest wind flow will kick in that heat and humidity. Well, this is an area that the National Hurricane Center is monitoring. This tropical wave coming off of Africa. This may become what will be Hurricane Erin in the days ahead, at least the 3 to 5 day outlook. Where it goes from here remains to be seen. If it threatens the East Coast or if it pushes out to sea, we'll keep a close eye on that. 92 by Wednesday. Could see an isolated storm, but a better chance of storms comes in on Thursday with a high of 90 degrees.
Back from beyond, 4 astronauts return from months aboard the International Space Station. That's up next. 4 astronauts who spent the last 5 months at the International Space Station returned to Earth today. The Dragon capsule carrying NASA's SpaceX Crew 10 splashed down at around 11:30 this morning off the coast of San Diego, California. The crew departed from the International Space Station Friday after launching back in March to relieve the stuck test pilots of Boeing's Starliner. The Crew 10 astronauts will receive medical checks before boarding a flight back to Houston. The Trump administration continues to dismantle clean energy programs. The EPA is canceling a $7 billion grant program for solar projects for lower-income Americans. The money was part of the Solar for All effort. Coming up, how to help neurodivergent students with the school year right around the corner. This time of year can be stressful for any student, but for the millions of children who have learning and thinking differences like ADHD or dyslexia, back to school can add another layer of pressure. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither talks to a psychologist who specializes in this field about how to help neurodivergent students succeed.
It's time to learn again, but for some, processing new information can be a challenge.
For kids with learning and thinking differences, engaging in academics, engaging in just being in new places can be so stressful.
Psychologist Andrew Kahn with the nonprofit Understood.org says these differences are often misunderstood because they're not obvious to the observer. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, dyslexia, which affects a person's ability to read and write, and dyscalculia, which impairs math comprehension, all affect the brain's ability to process information.
For a lot of teachers and parents, when you're in situations with multiple kids, it's often hard to look below the surface and figure out what's happening with these kids.
Kahn says parents play a pivotal role in helping their student with learning and thinking differences to succeed in school. First, empower yourself with reliable information. Understand your child's neurological differences and how they impact the student during school. Then, advocate for your child. Talk to their teacher and school administrators.
At the start of the school year, formulating a little get-to-know-you letter. Here are some strengths of my child. Here are things that they struggle with. And very importantly, some strategies that tend to work for them.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And now here's a live look into Rehoboth, and one more check at the forecast is coming up after the break.
Well, the sun is shining in Salisbury. Gorgeous evening ahead. Will fall from 79 down through about 73 around 8 o'clock. Plenty of clear skies and calm winds. That's going to allow for temperatures to fall into the 50s away from the coast tonight. So it's going to be a beautiful night. You can get your forecast anytime by dialing the First Alert Weather Phone, sponsored by Brockstead Mundalis Federico. Your 10-day forecast shows wall-to-wall sunshine through your Sunday. 82, moderate risk of rip current. So conditions are beginning to improve at the coast, but still use caution. Swim near those lifeguards. We'll see seasonable temperatures at least to start the week, and then humidity and the temperatures begin to rise. We're going to see lower 90s Wednesday through Thursday. Can't rule out an isolated storm Wednesday afternoon, but a better chance of storms rolls in Thursday, and then we'll keep those temperatures right around seasonable levels right through the end of next week.
Thank you, Chris, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. Be sure to join us tonight at 11. Until then, have a great night.